What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Y'all have been absolutely blowing up the channel lately with all the views, all the new subscribers. So just thank you guys so much for that. Means the world to me, and I truly love the growth that we have with this community going on, trying to build it up into a bigger thing together, and I absolutely love that. Love helping you guys out, so thank you guys so much. Now in today's video, I want to go over our new exotic machine gun that we got this season with the Witch Queen called the Grand Overture. This is one of them big looking K-ball machine guns that shoots those arc bolts out of it, and it is absolutely just a tank when you're letting this thing eat with all of its intrinsic perks. We have a lot to cover with this thing, so we're gonna do a nice deep dive into this bad boy today. So right here is our weapon, the Grand Overture machine gun. As you can see, we have a nice intrinsic trait like I was talking about with the Wrath of the Colossus, a heavy slug launcher that charges, then fires full auto when the trigger is held. So it kind of has an action like a fusion rifle for that first shot. You gotta let it charge up, and then it'll shoot that first heavy slug with the arc, and then after that it does have a pretty quick fire rate. In all seriousness, I know it says 100 rounds per minute. You probably can't see it with my face cam in the way. Real quick, we'll show you guys, but those are the stats on it. It is quite crazy, but it does travel very slowly in my personal opinion. When you're shooting the bolts, it's almost like you have to lead a target if they're moving or you're moving at all. So that has to be taken into play and into your head when you're shooting this gun, especially once it revs up and gets that full auto going. It just kind of bounces and you're ripping these heavy slugs downrange, eating up everybody that it touches. Going over its perks here. First off, we have Hammer Forge rifling for that range. Obviously, you can see we have 100 range on this bad boy right now. Next, we got accurized rounds for that increased range again. 100 range and 100 stability on this bad boy. Absolutely crazy. Then we have Omega Strike. So landing hits with the slug launcher to load rockets. Then for me, it's press and hold my reload button. Then it'll fire a volley of several rockets in a row. So you can hold up to ×20 on the rockets that are loaded into your weapon, and then you do that alternate fire, whatever it may be, your reload button. You hold it, it'll load, and it'll say volatile rounds loaded, and then it'll volley those rounds in packs of 5. So if you have all 20 in the gun loaded up by hitting 20 people, then it'll be able to shoot 4 volleys of those 5 rockets. Now, this crazy part about this is if you only have one single ammo within your magazine, no reserves, nothing like that, but you have that ×20 for the rockets loaded into the gun via this Omega Strike, you can actually still press your reload button and change it to that volley action, and it'll still shoot 20 rockets in those volleys of 5, and you will still have that one left over in your chamber from before. So those charged up rockets, if you will, when you have that ×20, whatever it may be, it goes from ×1 to ×20, you can shoot those if you are out of ammo in the gun. Basically, it is kind of a crazy little addition via this perk right here. Last but not least, we have hand laid stock to get that crazy stability, which you can see since I took my face cam away. We have some pretty crazy stats on this bad boy. Now for the catalyst here, just got it done. Took me, as you can see, about 540 kills to get this catalyst, but it definitely adds a nice oomph to the weapon with that extra little bit of handling. And then also those missile explosions will blind combatants, and those combats defeated by the missiles will explode. So we get a nice, almost very similar to a Wardcliff action. When these explode, they blind and explode everywhere, but that is basically for your alternate action fire when you have those missiles loaded, and you can see it on the left hand corner where all our buffs and all our debuffs are. Now, to obtain this weapon, it does come from our season pass right here. If you have the premium track, which is this bottom one, you can get it right away at level 1 as soon as you buy that season pass. But if you're just taking the free route, it's not too crazy. All you got to do is get to level 35, which is pretty easy to get to, and then you can also claim this nice crazy machine gun that we got, that Colossus Heavy Slug. I'm telling you, this thing is kind of crazy once you get it revved up, and it does eat bosses pretty quickly in my personal opinion. So as you can see in the background gameplay right here, we are running through with the K1 Revelation on the moon in the Sorrows Harbor, that lost sector, basically just using this weapon the entire time just to get the catalyst done and show what this bad boy can do. So like I was saying before, that first time you shoot the weapon, it is going to take a second to charge up and then it'll fire. But then after that initial charge up, you continue to hold your trigger down and it will just absolutely keep sending those rockets out, if you will. I call them rockets. I know they're heavy slugs, but they have a very similar feel to, like I said, like a Wardcliff, just in a machine gun version. When that full auto is rifling down lane, like I said, the projectiles seem to travel slowly, in my personal opinion, compared to other things. It's definitely not hit scan, so you might have to lead your target a little bit, anything like that. But once you get all 20 of those rockets charged up, do that alternate fire action and you can just let them fly. One of my favorite parts about that is the alternate fire action, and then once I got that catalyst, it explodes everybody and actually causes them to be blind, so you can kind of work around that with other builds, especially if you're going with an arc build. Like I had it paired with the Forbearance from the Vow of the Disciple, so you can get some crazy arc combinations going on with your weapons and your subclass. I know people have been slapping Stasis and Void still all over the place, but definitely with Elemental Wells getting charged with light with this arc build, you can go absolutely crazy with it, getting that little bit of extra damage with Font of Might, so this thing puts out even more damage than it normally does, and it's just super nice to see how much damage you can do with this weapon. It's good for ad clear, even in that volley form. It's not just for DPS. If you're specifically going for DPS, turn that volley on and let all of them rip at a boss. But if you're in an area with a lot of enemies, you can also turn that volley on and let it spread out within the room, shoot those 20 heavy slugs, and with the explosions and those catalysts, people will be blind. You will do super good ad clear with those arc explosions, and like I said, creating elemental wells everywhere with this. Get Font of Might, get something crazy going on for your arc builds. It's basically one of the best arc guns in my opinion, like a mixture of the Thunderlord mixed with the Wardcliff coil. They had a baby and we get the Grand Overture right here. Definitely been using it a lot more lately. I initially did think it wasn't that great, partially because of that super slow projectile velocity, for me at least, but the damage output and its abilities with its intrinsic perk with stacking up those volatile rounds that explode and stuff like that when you volley them, and then also that catalyst just kind of bumps it up another level for me. So in my personal opinion, compared to other exotics that we have, especially in the heavy slot, I'm gonna go with a solid B on this weapon. I think it does well for damage, does well for ad clear, but it's not the best at either of those. That's why we'll put it at the B tier, so it's kind of right in the middle of the pack. Nothing too crazy about it, but also it has a wide variety of uses with DPS, ad clear, everything like that. So kind of changes it up a little bit, and that's why I put it at a B. So hopefully this helped you guys out, figure out if you want to grab this weapon, grind for the catalyst, everything like that. And once Arc 3.0 comes around, with this being an arc weapon, we probably can have some crazy things going on with it in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.